Hey y'all, welcome back to church. I'm here on my porch. It's Wednesday evening, just about dark. It's almost 9 o'clock. I thank you for joining me here so late. Um, Before I go any further, I want to ask a prayer. Lord, thank you. It's a blessing to be your child. I'm grateful to you all the time. Every day I'm thankful to be called your child. Every day I'm thankful that you walk with me, Father. Father, I ask you blessing on those that are listening. I ask you blessing on your word, and blessing our ears, and bless us to your service, Father. Thank you for all you've done, and I ask you just to continue to strive with us. I ask you to open your word to us, open our understanding different and deeper. Lord, just bring us to a place where we can draw closer to you. Thank you, Father, and I love you, and I ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen. This past week, we recognized one of our kids' big steps into adulthood, and that was a kind of fancy way of saying Sydney graduated, Sydney's graduation. Um, but I called him one of our kids, and he was, and now I got to call him a young man. But he is that. Now, I think that those of us who know him would say that he's really grown up in just a few short years. I was thinking about this, and I started thinking about how all of us have occasions in our lives that change us, and that don't go away when you become an adult. Even as adults, we have momentous occasions that lead us on to the next momentous occasion. Because as adults, we go through this or that experience, and something will change us, and something will make us different. But I want you to understand that that's your purpose here. Your purpose as a person, as a human being, is to change and to grow. Your purpose is to change the mind of the lost sinner, first and more so. When I was thinking about this thing, I started thinking about you and me as a vehicle that God might use to change somebody. And when I was thinking about momentous occasions, I started thinking, what role you or me might play in somebody's life if we might be part of that big change, if we might be part of a huge step for them. And I know we can do this. I know we do this, and I know it can be for better or worse. Because I know when we come across people that we do change them, and sometimes it's for the better, and sometimes it's for the worse. As Christians, we shouldn't be changing people for the worse. But I say for the better or worse because we have the opportunity to change them regardless of what we think or what we say or what we want to be the case. And Jesus Christ gives you the task of being used by Him to bring about change. And you have opportunity to do that, to bring about change for Him, and you have opportunity to bring about change to lead somebody astray from Him. The change that I'm talking about. The change that I'm talking about is salvation. The change that I'm talking about is closer walk with Christ. Or on the other side of that aisle, I'm talking about you leading somebody away from Jesus. Do you lead them more to a sinful life, away from a right and a righteous life? But have you ever thought about yourself in that way, that you might be a momentous step for somebody, that you might be part of a momentous change in their life, that you might be the vehicle that takes them to a relationship with God or takes them farther away in a relationship with God? You might be a life changer for somebody. And not really you, but the person you represent, the God that you represent. You could be the vehicle that God uses to bring about salvation in a lost person. And you're that important. You shouldn't take that lightly. You shouldn't take the abilities and the opportunities that you have lightly. Exodus 3:14 said, "And God said to Moses, I am who I am. And he said, thus you shall say to the children of Israel, I am has sent me to you." And I want to tell y'all, that's what God says to each one of us. The I am, God sends us to each person. He sends us to each one along the way. It sounds a lot more important when it comes from God, though. Because I sit here and I tell you these things. I tell you God sent you. I say it all the time, but when you're reading His Word, He says, I am the I am. And I'm sending you out. And when you hear it coming from Him, it's got to have a lot of weight. It's got to have more weight. Does hearing that make it more important to you? Does it make it more important to you to witness and to try to lead somebody to Him? Because you might be the most important person that person ever meets. The importance that you have in your life, in the message that you take as a child of God, you might be the most important person that lost person ever meets. How does that make you feel? They are important. Can you see how important you are in that? I pray that you see the fact that you're important in His plan. You could be part of a huge moment for somebody. I want to tell you more than that. You are a part of a huge moment for a lot of people. And and you can influence them this way or that way. And do the right thing, be right and be righteous. Play the role that God's given you to play. Play His child. Be His child. Go out and tell Him, show Him, and let Him see. Let Him see who He is. I'm gonna close there. It's getting dark, and I pray that as the sun goes down, if y'all are watching this tonight, this Wednesday evening, that you think about who you might meet on Thursday morning. That you think about that person who you might be the most important person, not just for that day. You might be the most important person for their life. The person that will tell them about salvation, will lead them to that salvation. I'm going to close there before I go on to ask a prayer. Lord, again, I thank you. I ask you to strive with us. I ask you to strengthen us. I ask you to lift us up. I ask you not only to prepare us, but prepare the people we'll come in contact with. I ask you to open doors and ask you to give us the strength to walk through them and the wisdom to know what to do when we're through them, Lord. Lord, I ask you to bless your word in our mouths that they might hear, that they might see. Father, I ask you just to have your way in us and those that will come in contact with. I ask these things all in the name of your precious Son, Jesus Christ. All right, I love you. I mean it, and I'll see you soon.